supervisor.
Okay, kind of supervisor. Okay. Anything else?
Who looks after his employees and looks for the day-to-day functioning of the company.
Yes, very good, Arjit. That would be a better description of what a manager does. A manager is not the head of the company per se, but I would say yes, someone who is helping in supervising what his subordinates are doing and managing the day-to-day affairs of the company. Now, head would be a very generic term. Now, head can be the CEO, and then you can also say that the head is the management, the owners of the company. So that would be a generic term, but yes, in simple terms, manager is someone who manages things. Now, manages things would be the day-to-day activities in the sense that he is representing the ownership of the company, supervising the people who are working in the company, and I'm sorry, and ensuring that the day-to-day activities are carried out in an effective manner. So, when we study accounting for managers, what we are exactly talking about is how the managers in the firm will be managing the financial affairs. So, here specifically, we are talking about the financial affairs of the company. Now, accounting, I think we all are clear with the definition that we are recording the financial transactions, we are arranging them in a proper manner, we are grouping them. जो classifying था, we are grouping similar transactions under a particular head. Then we are making more sense of the financial information, and by applying certain tools, applying certain techniques, we are then interpreting the results to make informed decisions about the working of the company. Okay, so this is what accounting is doing. This was the definition. I gave you an introduction that here we are talking about financial transactions. We are clubbing these similar transactions together, ensuring that we have proof of each and every transaction, classifying, summarizing, and then interpreting the results. Now, accounting itself has many branches, but we focus on three traditional branches of accounting in our paper also, starting with financial accounting, which is a more strict branch of accounting in the sense one, it is mandatory for the firms to prepare financial accounts. Two, there are defined set of principles which rules which have to be followed when we are preparing the financial accounts of a company, because this information is being used by insiders and outsiders to take decisions with respect to the company. On the other hand, the second branch of accounting that you see on your screens is managerial or management accounting, which is basically accounting for internal decision making. Now, this branch of accounting is comparatively more flexible than financial accounting in the sense that there are no rules, principles that are to be compulsorily followed here, but obviously you are following some format and some rules here, but they are not that strictly defined because this set of accounts is not made public. It is for internal decision making, and then again, this is involving a lot of forecast because the decisions you are making here are being made in advance. Okay, so there is a forecasting involved with respect to the future, and then again, wherever forecasts come into picture, there might be some changes. So that might not the forecast you have made might not turn out to be 100% true. The next branch of accounting is cost accounting. So literally cost accounting is all about managing, recording, controlling, and reducing the cost of manufacturing in the organization. Again, this is based on past data as well as future estimates, and this is not compulsory. Cost accounting is not compulsory for all firms. There are certain firms defined, especially the firms which are involved in public goods. For them, preparation and publishing of cost accounts is mandatory. So then I told you with respect to your exams also, from your exam point of view also, difference between the branches of accounting is important. So this was the last topic which we covered in the lecture. Now we move to the next topic. I'll first come here, accounting as an information system, and then I'll come to the users of accounting. So, information system, and you see a flow chart on your screens. You input information, it is processed, and then you get an output. Now, what does this resemble? This flow chart which you see on your screen?
A computer.
Yes, excellent. It is quite similar to a computer. So जब हम कंप्यूटर की बेसिक डेफिनेशन करते हैं, इंट्रोड्यूस करते हैं, तो वहां पर भी हम बोलते हैं इनपुट डिवाइसेस से हम फीड इन करते हैं इंफॉर्मेशन, फिर आपकी प्रोसेस होती है इंफॉर्मेशन सीपीयू से, एंड देन थ्रू द आउटपुट डिवाइसेस यू आर एबल टू सी द रिजल्ट. So the accounting information system is quite similar to that process wherein you are putting in some inputs. Inputs are in the form of the financial transactions which are taking place in the firm. You are following a process. So process is a series of steps that we follow to prepare the accounting statements, and that is again taken from the definition of accounts: recording, classifying, summarizing, analyzing, and interpreting the results. And your output is in form of certain statements which are prepared for the users of accounting. तो आप ब्रैकेट में तीन टर्म्स देख रहे हो. आपको information दी हुई है that you're communicating the information to the users, and then in bracket you are given the example of three statements. So I'll try to simplify the terms which are used here as much as possible, and then eventually we will be preparing these statements also. तो उससे पहले मैं आपको सारी बेसिक जो अकाउंटिंग टर्मिनोलॉजी है वो क्लियर कर दूंगी. बट हेयर there are three statements which are given. I also asked you people to refer to or to just go through the annual report of a company. That was the homework I gave you in the last lecture. How many of you actually did that? Okay, very good. I have Shefali. Yes. What about others? So no. Okay, then I have Aryan here. Yes. That was the first homework basically which I gave you. Only two students in the class got time to go through the annual report, that too on long weekend. Okay, Shefali, please unmute yourself.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yes, good morning.
Ma'am,
So
sorry
please,
to interrupt. Ma'am,
yeah,
I'm Niharika. I forgot to change my login ID.
that's bad. Don't do that because I don't remember the name of all the students, and then I, in the future you'll
Yes,
not be allowed with
yes,
some
ma'am. I'll
unknown.
take care of it.
Okay,
Yes,
okay,
ma'am.
no issues. Okay, Niharika, just tell me what all did you see in the annual report? Which company's annual report did you open?
Ma'am, I opened Dabur report.
Okay, so Dabur Limited. So any insight into what kind of information did you find there?
Ma'am, there were very different departments like FMCG and all that, and different accounts were made according to them, according to the product basically. Then, ma'am, at the last, all the accounts were combined into balance sheet and cash flow statement.
Okay, very good. Okay, thank you, Niharika. And then Aryan was the second person who raised his hand. Yes, Aryan,
Yes, ma'am. Good
please.
morning.
Good morning, beta. Unmute. Sorry, you are already unmuted.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, so just tell me which company did you refer to?
Ma'am, I referred to my Mamu's company, which is basically Anand Rathi. So
Okay.
it's about finance and stuff. So
Yes,
I
yes.
compared the previous year's balance sheet and this time's balance sheet and
Okay,
all the ratios and stuff, all the accounting ratios, and I just
okay,
compared the all the liabilities and the assets of the previous year and this year to see the performance of the company.
okay. And so, since you have done the comparative analysis also, kind
Yeah,
of comparative analysis,
yeah, ma'am.
what did you actually conclude?
Ma'am, I noticed that obviously the company had better profits than before,
Hmm. Hmm.
and in some cases the company did worse also, but majorly it did better in all the liquidity ratios and all.
Oh, okay. So
Yes,
that's a bit high level information, but yes, good. You
yeah,
tried that at your end.
yeah.
Thank you, Aryan.
Thank you
Yes,
so much,
Anshika.
ma'am.
Okay, Anshika.
Yes, ma'am. I
Yes.
also saw Paytm's accounting
Okay.
statement. Ma'am, I'm very much into stocks, so I saw it because Paytm share just now dropped with a very high
IPO,
percentage.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I saw that why did it happen, and I
So,
saw that they
is
are
Paytm regularly publishing the financial results? So the annual reports online, they are
um
available.
yes, ma'am, I saw it. I guess this year though I have seen it, but I don't know about previous year. But
Okay.
this year they have published.
Yeah, that would be because of the IPO. Otherwise, it has just become a limited company in the sense कि अभी IPO आया है. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, the report that you saw, what did it talk about?
Ma'am, it saw that the company is facing losses from the very beginning, and for
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
few like 5 years from now, they are facing losses
Hmm.
only.
Hmm.
So and the Paytm stock was also very much overvalued. Like it was to be 1800 and something, but the price was 2100 something. So, ma'am, Paytm report was not very good. And yeah.
Okay, so you saw these good that you compared it to its market performance, and then obviously the volatility in the market is quite high right now.
Yeah,
So,
ma'am.
and then again, we are seeing concerns about a new variant, and then that effect will be visible in the market in a few minutes. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
so I think you saw all these financial statements also there then, profit
Yes,
and
ma'am.
loss balance sheet, so that would be there.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
thank you, Anshika. So the rest of you, I'll ask the same question in the coming classes also. Okay, so Sagar has a Sagar
Yes,
has
ma'am.
something to
Yes,
share.
I have to add something on
Yeah,
Paytm that
yeah.
recently they also publish a quarterly report in which
Hmm.
they are said that uh, Paytm's report first time profit
Hmm.
after the listing of IPO.
Okay.
Uh, so it will impact.
The stock prices you say positively. Yes?
Yes, ma'am. In
Yes.
coming days, it will impact positively.
Okay. 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 Okay, so that is all about Paytm. Arjit also has a question. Yes, the apprehensions were that the stock has been overvalued, and though after that initial downfall, the stock has comparatively stabilized, I would say, in the previous 2-3 sessions. But then again, today is a very crucial day because many things have come over the weekend and which have raised apprehensions about the global economy as such, because with a new variant and such a mutated variant, there might be impact on the opening up of the economies that is taking place. So let's see how it impacts the Indian share market and how it impacts the Paytm stock per se. Paytm is defending the IPO performance by saying that we followed a very conservative accounting, and though I would like to correct Sagar that they have actually reported losses, quite huge losses in the previous quarter. And what the company is saying that revenue has increased, but overall losses have also increased. तो expenses जहाँ पर revenue increase हो रहे हैं उसके साथ जो उनके साथ जो comparative expenses हैं वो ज़्यादा increase हो रहे हैं and their losses have increased there. So yes, the reaching out of the online services is increasing, but still the company is into losses right now. And with the stock overvalued, this was something that was, I think, expected to some extent there. The company is saying that our earnings are improving and we were following a more conservative accounting. We were going for immediate cost charging and everything. But yes, many things depend on the coming days. And for Paytm, I'll just stick to this much information because then we are diverting ourselves to a different topic right now. Let's come back to accounting. And yes, we will get a lot of chance to discuss Paytm in the future also, because somewhere or the other we will relate the topics here with the markets also, with the general economy also, and then we'll talk about it there. But yes, Arjit, for the time being, you should know that the company has been into successive losses since its inception. Okay, so अभी break even पर भी नहीं आई है company, and then the analysts were of view that the stock price जो IPO में जो प्राइस रखा गया था, प्राइस रेंज रखी गई थी, that was quite overvalued. Okay, coming back. So for the students who have seen the financial statements or the annual report, there they found these three statements: profit and loss, So simple terms में profit is addition to your wealth, gaining something, loss is deduction from your wealth. The profit and loss account of a company tells us that at the year end or the entire year, what were the sources of income and what were the expenses which the company had, and then at the end of the day, whether the company has made some profit added to its wealth or there have been losses to the firm which have reduced the wealth of the company. The second statement is balance sheet. Now, balance sheet gives you the clear picture of the firm on the last date of the financial year. So, financial year is ending on 31st March. So, on 31st March, how much assets and liabilities is the firm having? Okay. Now, assets are things of value owned. So, for a company, for a firm, से अभी सिंपल बात करते हैं, जो बिल्डिंग ओन कर रही है कंपनी वो उसके लिए एसेट हो गया, जो मशीनरी ओन कर रही है वो उसके लिए एसेट हो गया. इन चीजों की वैल्यू है और ये लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए फर्म के पास है. तो दीज आर एसेट्स ऑफ द फर्म. लायबिलिटी क्या होता है? जो कंपनी ने आउटसाइडर को पे करना है इन द फ्यूचर. So any amount which is due from the company to an outsider would be a liability. तो 31st मार्च को कंपनी जब अपनी फाइनेंशियल पिक्चर रिप्रेजेंट करती है अपनी स्टेटमेंट्स में, अपनी रिपोर्ट्स में, तो वहां पर प्रॉफिट या लॉस कितना हुआ कंपनी को एंड what is the standing of the company in terms of the assets and liabilities owned by it, that is shown through the financial statements. And cash flow statement, for the time being, cash flow, so movement in and out of cash in the business is shown by the cash flow statement. So from the various activities that are taking place in the business, what is the cash movement in various activities, that we get to know from the cash flow statement. So accounting as an information system. Now, system is a set of elements which are working with each other towards a common objective. So the entire system of collecting information, processing information, and then disseminating that information to the interested parties gives you the accounting information system. And the main objective is to present the information to the user so that they can take informed and intelligent decisions about the company. So this brings us to the various users of accounting information. So let us see. We have internal users, internal to the company, who are the primary users. So starting with the management has to take decisions with respect to the financial performance of the company, in the sense that all the job appraisals that are taking place, the performance, rating the performance of the employees, hiring of new employees or stacking of employees, and then what future measures need to be taken to improve the company's performance. All that is taken place under the internal decision making process of the company. So management requires the accounting information for achieving these objectives. Second, we come to the employees. Now, employees who are working in the company are the prime stakeholders. They need information because they need to see, are they getting remuneration? Are they being paid in accordance with the performance of the company? So if the company is performing well, they expect a bonus, they expect an appreciation in their pay packages. And if they see that the company is faltering and there is a consistent decline in the performance of the company, they would want to shift to a better avenue. Okay, so all this requires input from the accounting statements. And third party, prime party would be the owners of the company. They are the ones who have put in their money, their investment in the company. And obviously, they would want to see how well is the company performing, what is the return on the investment made by them. So these are the internal users. Apart from the internal users, you also have secondary users, which are the parties external to the firm. So here again, let's first see the parties, starting with tax authorities. Again, simple. Tax authorities, the tax department needs to make sure that the company is paying taxes in alignment with its earnings, and these are regularly paid. They are paid on time. There are no defaults, no concealing of information by the company. Apart from that, you have investors. So we are talking about the market here. So in a company, the public at large, if it is a limited company, the public at large, the financial institutions, they are also putting in money, and anyone who's putting in money, whatever be the amount, would want to be sure that they are investing money in a company which has potential in the future. And all this decision is based on the past performance of the company. Okay, so they need financial statements to make a comparative analysis with respect to the nearest competitors of the company in the market and how well has the company performed over the years. Customers would want to stick with a company which has a good reputation in the market, which has consistently performed well in the past, so that they are sure of the products and services offered by the company. Then you can see regulatory authorities. So regulatory authorities not only are narrowed to the tax authorities, but also other players or other the authorities which are protecting the interest of the other stakeholders in the market. So if I am talking about a manufacturing concern, then have you people heard about this regulatory authority? What does CPCB stand for, class? Any one of you never heard about CPCB?
No, ma'am.
It's strange. CPCB stands for Central Pollution Control Board. So today, especially sitting in Delhi and during this time, even if the others who are not sitting in Delhi, all of you know that it is the most polluted capital city in the world, and every year around this time, concerns about pollution are raised. So, with respect to a manufacturing concern in any part of India, it is also made sure that the company is responsibly executing its operation, and responsibly we mean not only to the customers but also to the environment and society at large. So the society at large is concerned with the pollution that is created because of the activities of the company, and here we are talking about not only the air pollution but also the discharging of the wastage, so water pollution as well, soil erosion, soil conservation, तो ये सब आता है. तो regulatory authorities make sure करती हैं कि हर end पे कंपनी responsibly perform कर रही है अपनी activities. Again, you would have heard about the Consumer Protection Act. Yes, Consumer Protection Act के बारे में
Yes.
आपको हाँ, तो वहाँ
Yes, ma'am.
पर अथॉरिटीज क्या इंश्योर करती हैं कि कोई भी कंपनी अपने कस्टमर को चीट नहीं कर रहा, कोई भी कंपनी फ्रॉड प्रैक्टिसेस या फ्रॉड क्लेम्स नहीं कर रही, जिससे कंज्यूमर का इंटरेस्ट एट लार्ज हिट होता है. तो ऐसे लॉज से ऐसी अथॉरिटीज इंश्योर करती है दैट द कंपनी इज परफॉर्मिंग in a legally viable manner and morally correct manner. Okay. And then the first external user that you see here is the creditors. So let me introduce the first term which we talk about at length in accounting. Creditors. Creditors are people or parties to which the company owes money. कंपनी ओज मनी मतलब कंपनी ने उधार लिया है क्रेडिटर्स से, और कंपनी की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है कि वो उधार आने वाले टाइम में कंपनी को पे बैक करना है. नाउ द सप्लायर्स ऑफ रॉ मटेरियल टू द कंपनी. तो से फॉर एग्जांपल आपकी कंपनी में प्रोडक्शन हो रही है बुक्स की, तो बुक्स के लिए, बुक्स मैन्युफैक्चरिंग के लिए जो आपको रॉ मटेरियल चाहिए, आपको पेपर चाहिए, आपको कार्डबोर्ड चाहिए, आपको ग्लू चाहिए, सिंपल सिंपल इनपुट्स जो आपको चाहिए प्रोडक्शन में, यू आर परचेजिंग फ्रॉम द सप्लायर सिटिंग इन द मार्केट. Now, the norm in business is that not everything is purchased on cash basis. कुछ टाइम पीरियड के लिए आपको जो सप्लायर है कुछ टाइम पीरियड देता है कि उस टाइम पीरियड में आप वो पेमेंट कर दो. सो दैट इज द जनरल बिजनेस प्रैक्टिस दैट इज फॉलोड. से 45 to 60 डेज का क्रेडिट पीरियड आपको मिलता है. क्रेडिट पीरियड होता है वो पीरियड जिसमें आपने जो उधार है वो वापस करना है. तो क्रेडिटर्स आर पार्टीज विच आर सप्लाइंग मनी टू द फर्म, not money but sorry the materials to the firm. In some cases obviously money भी आएगा into picture, but अभी के लिए जो simple मैं आपको समझाऊंगी that they are supplying materials to the firm, inputs to the firm on credit basis, that is non cash basis पे रॉ मटेरियल वगैरह सप्लाई हो रहा है फर्म को, और फिर फर्म को टाइम दिया जा रहा है कि इतने टाइम पीरियड में, कुछ टाइम पीरियड के बाद वो कैश पेमेंट कर दे. ओके, सो से your firm is X Limited and there's a supplier in the market. So if raw material flow is moving to the firm on credit basis or non-cash basis. So the supplier becomes the creditor for the firm, and the firm becomes the debtor for the supplier. तो जिसने उधार लिया है वो डेटर है, वो डेट में है, और जिसने उधार दिया है दैट इज द क्रेडिटर. Okay, now this is very simple example of what do we mean by a creditor. Creditors ना सिर्फ material के लिए होते हैं, but you also have creditors for money. तो जैसे मैं आपको बोल रही थी कि आपने उधार लिया है, तो आप मनी भी उधार ले सकते हो, एंड दैट कैन बी फ्रॉम money lenders in the market. Now that is an informal source of finance. We'll not talk about it, but we'll talk about more formal sources of finance. Simplest being taking loan from the bank. So that is also a type of credit that your business can take, and there the bank becomes the creditor for the firm. So X Limited अगर एक बैंक से पैसा लेती है तो again that bank is the creditor and the firm is the debtor. Okay, so I'll stop here. I hope this is clear to everyone. If there are